Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 44. In today's episode, we're going to talk about common process safety management chemicals that you'll find out there. In episode 43, we did a little introduction. We talked about a little bit about the threshold planning quantity and then about that catch-all of 10,000 pounds for the gases and liquids. Let's sit down and just break down a couple of the common ones that you'll find out there. And process safety management. So just a little bit of the intro so I really get it exactly right. This is the United States OSHA regulation found at 29 CFR 1910.119. So we're going to focus on Appendix A in this first list, which is a list of highly hazardous chemicals, toxics, and reactives. And this is off of that mandatory list. If you go over that threshold planning quantity, you have to be in process safety management. So let's just look at a couple of the common ones that we have out there. The chemical anhydrous ammonia, threshold planning quantity 10,000 pounds. We also have ammonia in the aqueous solutions, but it has to be greater than 44% ammonia, and that's at 15,000 pounds. Ethylene oxide, 5,000 pounds. Nitric acid has to be greater than by weight of 94.5%, and that's 500 pounds. And then one you'll find at wastewater plants all over the country. Chlorine, which is going to be at 1,500 pounds for the threshold planning quantity. Now, this is from that mandatory list. So if you're over that threshold quantity, boom, you're in process safety management. Let's look at a couple of the catch-all ones that we had too. So let's look at this first list here where we look at a class 1 flammable gas exceeding 10,000 pounds. So, and now this is going to be something that's part of the process. This is not something that we're using for any comfort heat. We're not using it for fuel. We're not to fuel something else. This is part of the process itself. So if we sit down and we look at a couple of these common ones out there, you have hydrogen, methane, propane, butane, and ethylene. So that's exceeding 10,000 pounds, and that's that common, that's that catch-all one that's out there. Now, obviously, if you're under 10,000 pounds, you're under that quantity then. But if you're over 10,000 pounds, you are in process safety management. Let's switch gears a tiny bit and look at flammable liquids here. So flammable liquids with a flash point below 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So common flammable liquids out there: acetone, ethanol, methanol, isopropyl alcohol, benzene, and toluene. I always have a hard time with that one. God, my whole life I can't say toluene very good at all then. So those are ones that you commonly find out there also. But again, that catch-all has to be over 10,000 pounds. If you're under 10,000 pounds, you're going to be good. If you're over 10,000 pounds, you are in the program. And that's it for episode 44, where we just sat down and talked about the common process safety management chemicals that you'll find out there, along with that threshold planning quantity. We're going to sit down in the next couple of podcasts. We'll break down the 14 elements of process safety management, and we'll get a little more in depth in each one then. So, and we'll kind of build on it until that we get right to the very end, and then just kind of wrap up the whole thing then. So, my name is Dr. David Ayers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a safe day.